cab the truck over. I had the door closed, but didn't realize it wasn't latched. So when I cabbed it over, the door swung and hit the ground. And what happened, this little rubber strap here that holds the door in place, there's a hinge there, but the strap broke and it shifted the hinge. So I've been riding that up every day and nobody's fixed it yet. They replaced the strap, but they didn't loosen the hinges to realign it. Go figure. I actually haven't seen any of the guys from the dealership in a while now. And my truck and two others, the radios just quit working. Wonderful Jensen and Powell equipment, right? Top of the line. Top of the line. But we're thinking they blew a fuse. The dealership was contacted, and that was about 3 weeks ago. They have yet to come out to even look at them. And honestly, in this business, that radio is a part of safety equipment. Yesterday, prime example, we actually had a tornado cut through minutes away from the yard. Probably about between midnight and 1 a.m. last night. You know, in times of bad weather, I like to keep it on WSB 95.5. That's the news radio station for Channel 2. And they give traffic and weather alerts every 5 minutes. So, yeah, I wish they would get this radio back working. I know what a fuse panel is and everything, but my supervisor was saying, no, don't go under there, because, you know, he don't want to hear the dealership or Battle's mouth about it. Because that's probably all it is just a blown fuse, but they got to figure out why also it blew the fuse for it. So it was working fine. Like I said, when I got the truck, one speaker, the left speaker, was already halfway blown. Go figure that. I don't know, if it were me and I was at the head of Battle, you know, I know stuff like that. So most people that don't drive these trucks, they'll throw the cheapest stereo equipment in it. I give Peterbilt one thing. I'm not a huge Peterbilt fan, but they have the absolute best sound system in them. That concert class equipment, yeah, I believe it's Pioneer, but it's made for exclusively for Peterbilt. But it sounds great. They most 520s have a 4-speaker system. Very nice sound. That's one thing I miss about the 520 I drove at DeKalb County, where you could rock out in that truck. This is our first stop for the night. They actually got the gate open. Yep. Normally I have to put the code in on the combination lock to get in. It's wide open tonight. 3:45 a.m. We're going at it. I hope you guys had a good Resurrection Sunday celebration. Know that He is risen. Remember to give thanks. You're too loud, son. You're too loud. Cam was pretty empty tonight. They've been out on spring break. Go ahead and knock that one off. Got Walgreens next. They added an 8-yarder to it. Why, I don't know. I hope they're going to get rid of that compactor. That's one of of the worst compactors I actually service. The way they built the enclosure and then the tracks for the compactor is not lined up with the truck, the angle that you have to go in at. Somebody's math wasn't mathing that night. Then on top of that, it's a raggedy compactor. So it makes a lot of noise. And conveniently, right across the fence line, there's houses overlooking the Walgreens. So I try to be as respectful as possible. That's why on Thursdays I don't start as early as other nights, mainly because of that Walgreens. Because there's no way to really shift it to like the end of the route the way I run. So try to back off when I'm not out here too early, like 2 in the morning, you know, whatnot, trying to pick that thing up. Weather's been crazy. It's a little chilly out here this morning. We were in the 80s. Now it's starting to cool off again. I believe that warm and cold air mixture, that's what caused that tornado last night. Well, yesterday. Did a lot of damage in the city of Conyers city limits. So like I said, it's just minutes away from the yard. From the mill. While I was on my way to work, you could barely see it. It was so much rain. It was coming down sideways. So windy. I saw yesterday Peachtree Waste, I'm sorry, has a older auto car WX64 with a McNillis Pacific Series body on it. And I've seen some of those on the auction sites on Public Surplus, I think like a year or so ago. I actually had put in a bid on one. I was hoping to get it. But it looks like it was one of those trucks. It's pretty clean. They got it looking nice. I still say that they should paint their bodies on their front loaders the same color as the roll-off cans. That light peach color. I'm surprised that they didn't actually. That would look good, especially on that MREP. I see it every blue moon on the highway. I'll pass it. Still looking good. They're taking care of it. Thursday really is a sweet route. Walgreens is up here in this plaza. First few stops are a little scattered, but after that everything is pretty dense. It goes by fast. Here's the issue. You see these houses right across this fence? I have to be very mindful of that. Try not to wake anybody up. compactor. I don't even know why they had this thing, to be honest. There's hardly anything in it. Yeah, this whole thing was just built wrong. Thankfully, this can is pretty solid. It doesn't make a lot of noise. That bloody compactor. And trying to line it up once I actually service it. That's the biggest thing. 'Cause like I said, the tracks in the truck are off. Guess they let Ray Charles engineer this, draw out the plans for it. A lot of places really do not consider the size and length of these trucks. So that 8-yarder goes twice a week for whatever reason. I don't know why. When I come back on Monday, it may not have anything in it, like one box, if that. That's real cute. One thing about people, they don't care where they throw their trash when it comes to illegal dumping. So I have to kind of line up over here and get as close to the wall and gate as possible just to get somewhat lined up with it. For those of you that always wondered how these work, it's just like a roll-off compactor, just made for front end. There's a ram inside of here. See the tracks right here, just like a packer blade on the trucks. I know you guys can really see it. but they feed the cardboard through the chute. The ram pushes it and compacts it inside. So getting it up in the air, it's pretty quiet. It's just bringing it back down. That's the problem with it. It's got 2 locks for the lid, and when those things settle back in place, when the can is level, they are loud. And then this doggone joystick doesn't help either. It's hard to feather this electric joystick. That's one lock. Surprised the other one didn't catch. Yeah, there it goes. Delayed response. Can twist. That's because when they put the rails down and built the chute with the packer, it's not lined up correctly. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a can I cannot stand. Especially this time in the morning. But thankfully, the people in the house right here, they don't call and complain. Like I said, I try to be as quiet as possible. And that crazy compactor there won't let you. Got cardboard over our hopper. So on accident, I found something neat with the camera. I think the remote has slid down a little where it is, and one of the buttons got pressed and threw everything out of whack. Normally it would stay fixed on the hopper view until you put the truck in reverse. But they how overcomplicating things. But it's kind of cool in a way. If you fold your forks all the way in, it goes to the reverse view. It's GFL in one of their old auto car spares. And if you want to go back to the hopper, you just open the forks just a little to trick it. Alright, family, we're back. Got a little daylight. So same thing. These little cheap Jensens, man, I tell you. I don't like the cramped cab of a Peterbilt and the lack of leg room. The sound system, man, it's unrivaled. Here wanted me to talk about the difference between the X pattern joystick and the cross pattern. My mind works a little different, so I try to explain it the best way I can, like I have in the past. To me, there's no difference between the two. The only difference is how you position your hand, your wrist. You know, just looking at the diagram here, cross pattern, but if you look at it this way, X pattern, same difference, same function, just the joystick is just you know, positioned a little different, so you have to turn your hand in different ways. But if you keep that in your mind, if you think about it, a cross is nothing but an X turned on its side. That's the simplest way I can describe it. I can work either, and honestly, I actually prefer rabbit ears. One of the first trucks I ever drove, got to operate when I was cross training a long time ago, had rabbit ears. It was an old Easy Pack, 2001, I think. A driver by the name of Mr. Knox. I used to ride with him mostly on Wednesdays. So they finally brought me over to commercial. So I've always been partial to rabbit ears because of the nostalgia for me. And that's why I put them in 002. Took that single joystick out. It wasn't an X pattern, and I took that out and put rabbit ears in. AMREP rabbit ears at that. But they are very smooth the way they operate, and plus that older Howl in general is smooth. It's just these electric joysticks are a little wonky, so you don't get that precise movement like you would with an air joystick. They can be a little choppy at times, especially trying to feather them. Alright, got KFC up next, then Martin's, then DeVita. Video if we had got them done yet, but they finally adjusted the blades where they go back up under the top door, which helps out tremendously. try to pack it enough where to stay down between stops. Haven't eaten at a KFC in years. That food used to be halfway decent. Can I try to keep the windows up on, especially when we've had a lot of rain. They like to throw those chicken bags in there with that blood on them, and this can smells horrible. Between KFC and Hooters, I don't know which one is the worst. Juice right there smells real good. Hot. Usually on a rainy day, my mirror gets covered in it. I have to ride with that smell for a few stops before it finally dissipates. Right, on the mark. Big shout out to the pack master, my little brother Andrew. Big Dan, what's up, brother? Keeping that Peterbilt looking good up there in New Jersey. And so many others too, I've discovered of late. I gotta get all the names together. It's amazing to see how this community has grown, especially with drivers, you know, getting more involved, sharing what we do out here. Kind of rare I can come straight to the can. A lot of times I have to wait in the drive-through line. There's not much space in here when you first come in. Turn on my differential. It's right in here making this turn. If not, my rear tires are just spinning. Something about the angle. Getting this one, garbage inside of it. Go to our tablet. That's gone. That's gone. Now wait a second. Okay. Go over here to issue. Select issue. Contaminated. And come down to details. Trash is inside the bin. Not the best picture. Put that back down. Click done, and we're off to the next stop. We don't take no garbage. No garbage. Cardboard only. I didn't like that feature at first with the camera. This is another thing it'll do too. If you bring the arms all the way down, well, see how it's on the hopper now? If you bring your arms all the way down, it goes back to reverse too. I was gonna get it put back just on the hopper camera, but I decided nah, because a lot of times I do need my reverse camera to stay on. So it's kind of cool how that feature with the forks and the arms. It's chilly out here this morning. Wonderful cup holders, right? Reach for your drink, you pull up the whole cup holder. Erica actually found one that can fit inside these cup holders that accommodate any size mug. And she said it's been working great for her. She sent me a picture and a link. Get it off Amazon, so I'm gonna get one for myself too. Right now we're at 39 of 59 stops, 66%. And the bulk of what we have left is in Hiram. We'll wrap up over there. Last stop will be Hooters. And then we'll take it on to Atlanta West, dump it out, fuel it up, and head back in. Get some rest and do it all over again tonight if it's the Lord's will. We're in Powder Springs right now. Two more cans in this area. GFL 8-yarder behind a plaza, a Publix plaza, and then a Dollar Tree. Here comes the sun, boys and girls. I'll tell you guys one thing, after the storm system we had yesterday, to see those clouds go away and clear up like nothing had even happened, it's amazing how that works. Nothing but sunshine and bright skies from what just looked like, I can't even describe it. Bright light, bright light. I saw a real bright light. You guys like my shades? Officer Poncherelli. Chips was one of my favorite shows as a kid. So I think we all wanted to be punched back then. Cats of my generation. Officer Poncherelli and John Baker. Francis Poncherella. Frank. Used to watch that show specifically for the motorcycles and the trucks. That was my thing. Actually got a little break in the pollen with all the rain we had. That stuff was been so thick you can see it in the air, man. It's just crazy. And I don't do well in it. Drives my allergies haywire. The green snow, that's what I call it. It blankets everything. This right here is is where these battles, crane carriers excel over other trucks. Turning radius. Gotta love it. Try to knock that back a little bit so it doesn't fall on the shield. They got a pack, boys and girls. Try to do is I'm taking a can up, especially if it's overloaded, I'll try to tilt it towards the hopper before I completely cross the shield. That way any overflow won't go on the back of the truck over the top door, go straight in the hopper. It's an art to it. Even though I'm not scared of heights, I don't like climbing on the back of these trucks. Gotta think you're over 13 feet off the ground. Should you slip off of here, it's gonna hurt. Definitely gonna break something. Dollar Tree. Then we got a short ride to Zaxby's and Family Dollar after that. They're a little spread apart. And then the last section of the route is pretty much back to back again, going down the line. Out of here, I have to get over here. So I can hug this corner and make me little turn. Starting to see a lot more of Arrow waste cans out. Seems like they're taking a lot of business away from waste management. One of the plazas that I normally service on Thursdays for waste management is now Arrow Waste, and so far they don't have a recycle can. We'll see how that goes. Kind of cool to see that though. With them acquiring Be Green Recycling, they've expanded their territory even more. Tall grapple truck. what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Just a big kid having fun. Stubborn. One more for good measure. This gravity lock here is funny. If I tilt the can backwards, it'll go back, but as I set it down level, it'll pop back. So I just take the forks and pop it. Alright gang, we'll be back once I reach Hiram. Hey now, we are back. Headed down to Arby's and racetrack. What's up, the Hopper Hustle? Hope everything has been working out for you, brother. Keep your head high. You know, these problems in life, they're just temporary. Pray that those storms that you were going through have subsided. Everything is good. All is well. Shout out to Jay Easy. Same with you, brother. I pray that you're doing well. Been a minute since we last spoke. It's your big bro down south thinking about you this morning. All my brothers and sisters in front end, roll off, ASL, real load. Nothing but love. Funky. Jiffle Green Faux Life. I'd say the majority of this route is GFL cans. Some waste management. Who else? waste connections and arrow waste. Been thinking about building up a cardboard route and giving it to Pratt to service. Some of the routes actually have some WG cans now. I heard they have a Battle Motors truck too, a front end loader. I'm not sure what body is on it. I have yet to see it. It was at the dealership, but by the time I got by there, it was gone. Unless they had it parked out back. I wish them well with it. I mean, these trucks aren't the worst, but they're not exactly the best either. Still have issues where water comes in when it rains all over the floorboard. The gauges cycle on their own whenever they feel like. Every now and then you have to actually turn the truck off, then cycle the key again. And then they'll do their thing and then come back on. The radios are junk. And I say that with all sincerity. I mean, pile is just that, a pile. See, I used to be heavy into car audio when I was younger, so yeah, Pile is one of those brands, and we didn't fool with that. That was bottom of the barrel. Why are you parked right next to the enclosure? Why? Are you gonna come out? You gonna back up for me? What you gonna do? Cause you gotta think at some point a truck is gonna come. I thank you. Well, thank you very much. I have to check this can. They're notorious for putting garbage in it. And it's like every time he dumps it, they trash it out. See, we got that one already. Harvey's is gone. Racetrack. Select issue, terminated. Finger knocked it off. Uh-oh. Gotta start all over. This screen is real sensitive. Get back in this truck. That air is cold. Little fat face is freezing. Alright, so now we go next door to Del Taco. The garbage truck left the can outside the enclosure. But it can't even close the doors back good. tried to dump it the way that trash is stuck inside the slot, but he left a lot of garbage in the bottom, so I'm not dumping it. On to the next. Cause at Pratt, we don't take no garbage. Only paper and cardboard. You can keep the trash. So this enclosure over here is made really funky. Thankfully, there's not a lot of traffic in this plaza, but you do get the occasional car to cutting through. So you have to be careful when you line up for the container, because we have to block the entire street and then block a lane once I do get lined up with the can. And you have to be careful inside the enclosure, because there's been previous damage to the soldier posts in here. Turn on my 4 ways. I'm fighting to get turn signals put on these cabs. They should have had them built from the factory right here, but we're trying to get some lollipops to go on the mirror brackets. One thing I've experienced in some of the other drivers too, or operators. A lot of times cars are past that mid-body turn signal, and there's nothing up here to let a car know that you're merging. So we're coming over, they're looking at us like, what the heck are you doing? And it's not our fault, it's not their fault, it's Battle Motors' fault. Because Crane Carrier, I don't know about the later models, but the older models used to have a turn signal inside the bumper. So yeah, hopefully Battle will change that. Every other truck manufacturer has turn signals on the side of the cab. These don't. That's a major safety issue. I think those lollipops will look cool. Down goes Fraser, boys and girls. Oh, that light is mighty bright. Trying to figure out why in the heck would they put a water spigot right beside a soldier post, right where the can would go, and then make the enclosure tight. I tell you, they have no regard for the trucks. No regard when they build these things. Or the ones where the gates don't open up enough. And you gotta fight to get inside the enclosure just to fork the can without scrubbing up your fenders or breaking your mirrors. Challenges to keep the mind sharp, right? Got Paulden Cummins up next. 4 cans total, 3 in the back, 1 out front. Usually they're darn near empty. They used to be contaminated a lot, but of late they've been pretty good. And it's not the businesses, it's the community that surrounds the plaza. They like to use it as their transfer station. I know, sugar. Just needs you to back up. Gotta talk to your baby, let her know everything's all right. Come on, sugar. comes back up front. Whenever you come behind buildings like this, that's in the electrical supply store. So you got to expect with that back door up, that bay door, that a forklift may come out. And also behind these plazas too, you got to watch out for vendors, people. Expect the unexpected. In certain times of the night and morning, other front loaders or commercial rear loaders in some areas. So we out here. Sorry, sound pretty empty. Yup. Tell you guys one thing, this has been a rough year, but when you think about God's grace and mercy, you can't do nothing but smile. Whatever problems you're going through, they just seem to melt away. And you focus on Him and the sacrifice that He made. Spiritual vitamin of the day. Then to come out here and do what I've enjoyed since I was a little kid, just watching these trucks work, and now I get to be the one entertaining all the kids. I feel real good, real good. These trucks are like therapy for me. It's really a blessing when you can operate in your passion. That's why I don't label myself a driver. I can't do that. Operator, yeah, you can call me that all day. Hand, you can call me that all day. But just driver, nah. I don't get down like that. So with this machine here, you are an equipment operator. Two things in one. You got your truck and then you got the machine itself. I say it a lot, but growing up, Robotech was one of my favorite cartoons. Voltron, stuff like that. I feel like I'm in my own Veritech fighter when I'm in this thing. You know, the little kid comes out. That's why I say, I can't get with that driver stuff. No, sir. Operator, yep. Yep. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Come on. 'Cause you're in my way. I appreciate the respect. But you're holding me up, baby. You're holding up my production. Thank you, sir. I didn't need you to do that, but I appreciate you. I want you guys to see this car club right quick. They got some awesome hot rods, man. And they meet up here every Thursday. Every Thursday. Brothers, I just wanted to say, y'all keep them looking good. Check out that old S10, man. That is sharp. Look at here. Those are beautiful, man. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. That's my favorite right there. Gorgeous. Black on red. I tell you. I tell you. But yep. Beautiful. Like I said, every Thursday I get to see them. I really like this route. It reminds me of home so much. Not trying to go home, but it reminds me of home a lot. Georgia is home now, and I don't plan on leaving. Not unless a tremendously better opportunity arose somewhere else. But I feel blessed right here. Alright. Family Dollar up next, then we come back for the McDonald's. We gotta ride a little bit to get the Family Dollar. Pretty sure when somebody else has to drive this truck, that camera's gonna drive them crazy. They're probably like, I can't see the hopper. What's wrong with your camera? Like, open your forks up just a little. It's magic. It's how magic. Wind bullseye. Had a Smith System class this past Saturday, Easter weekend, and got a better newfound respect for our safety guy. Not that I didn't respect him from Jump Street, but he's real cool. And in the class, man, he had us rolling. But man, he's an old hand from STs, and just hearing how, you know, he was saying in his younger day how gung-ho he was, doing stuff other drivers wouldn't do, making deliveries other drivers couldn't do, you know. And like he said, it was good and bad in that, you know. But big shout out to Kevin. Very cool guy, very cool guy. A lot of respect for him. A lot of years behind the wheel as a hand, out here doing his thing. And it's kind of sad, you know, he was telling us the last job he was on just folded. After COVID, it just never recovered. And they ended up letting everybody go, and he had to start all over. That's how he ended up here at Pratt. Started out in the corrugated logistics side, and then came over to the recycling division. But you learn a lot about people just sitting talking with them, you know. Very transparent guy, real cool, laid back. Like he said, you know, you don't have to go out there rushing. Nobody's forcing you to. Nobody's asking you to. And like he said, if they do, come to him. You know, it shouldn't have that pressure on anybody, on any job. I know in this business, especially on the garbage side of it, yeah, it's pretty much hit and get it, you know. Especially when you got a route that covers maybe 200 some miles and you got 150 to 170 or better lifts, you know. You don't have time to play the radio. So for me, my speed is from years years of being in the trash business, and this is my comfortable pace. This is how I move. Over here is very relaxed, the atmosphere, you know, and cardboard is different. You may not have as many lifts, but you may have twice as many miles, you know, compared to a trash/garbage route. But it still may end up being, you know, anywhere from an 11 to a 12-hour day, just because of the miles you put in. That's why Thursday is my sweet day. It's not a small route, as I mentioned before, but the density is darn near perfect to be able to come out here and do what you need to do and actually get a break from the other days where you're just humping, you know, because of all the miles you got to put in. But even in that, you know, I don't come out here running like a wild man, like a bat out of hell. I just move at a brisk pace. Be aware and use everything I've always been taught in the Smith system over the years. You know, we're human. We're going to make mistakes along the way, but you don't want to make a mistake out here that's going to cost somebody's life or property damage or anything like that. As a hand, you are a professional operator. We've been through the training, the courses, and all that stuff. We're different from the average person out here on the road. So it's just something to keep in mind, you know. It's like I tell guys here and in other places I work, we all learn at different paces. I always tell them, don't come out here trying to run like me. This is from years and years of being behind the wheel of these trucks, pulling on these joysticks and levers, rabbit ears and whatnot. This didn't just come with me overnight. You know, I was terrified of these trucks. I loved them. You know, I had that passion for them. But my first time in the driver's seat, taking a can up, oh yeah. Yeah, that was something else there. But as time went on, I got a little more relaxed. I got more confidence in me. I will never say I got comfortable with the equipment, because that's one thing the older hands at Cat Law, when I was going to truck driving school, that's one thing they taught us, and they stressed it. Never, ever get comfortable with a truck. They said the day you get comfortable behind that wheel, that's the day you're gonna F up. You respect the truck. You don't get comfortable with it. Learn your truck. Know what it can do. Because every truck got its own personality. It's like with all these battle trucks. You know, mine is at 31,000 miles. 31,157 to be exact. She's been on the road longer than any of the other battles. Out of 11 trucks, it's like I was telling Kevin in the safety class, normally, you know, with a number of trucks like that, you may have one lemon. Well, in this case, they got 10. Well, I won't say 10. About 8 out of the 11 were lemons. And mine and maybe 1 or 2 others haven't had any major issues, just minor glitches. The only thing that put this truck down so far was the wheel seal had blue on it, on the back. See, I were empty today. This can is hit or miss. It goes 5 days a week. Some days you come over here, it won't be a drop of cardboard. Other days, it's full to the top, overflowing. Taxi. Get get to see the Screaming Diva over here a lot. Not in this plaza. Sometimes I miss him. He may get over here a little bit before me on Tuesday, I think. But I do get to see him in the area. That driver keeps that truck pretty nice, pretty nice. Forgive me, operator, because you can tell he really enjoys what he does. He really does. And one of the few guys out here that whenever I see him, he's hitting the horn, he's hitting the lights. Then I got a GFL driver that's really cool too. I normally see him on Tuesdays. We share a few stops together on Tuesday. But it's one in particular, we're usually there either exactly at the same time, or either I'm coming out and he's coming in, or vice versa. But yeah, he'll hit the lights on me, you know. Like, I see you, big brother, I see you. Thinking how awesome this truck would sound if it had a Jake brake. The way that exhaust is made, oh my goodness. Wow. Because it's got a certain sound to it when it throttles down, coming to a stop. And I just imagine with that Jake, how much cooler it would sound. McDonald's is always a challenge. Usually in this last space. Oh, thank God. We're pulling out. I really need both those spaces, honestly. But a lot of times there are people parked right there on that end. And sometimes they'll go over the line for whatever reason. No, every stop can't be easy, but you don't want to take any unnecessary chances out here either. done servicing it, you really have to pay attention to that camera. And what I'll do, I'll sit for a second before I actually go in reverse to make sure the camera comes on, because people will try to squeeze through here or come in trying to get to the drive-thru instead of circling the building. Whatever happened with that remote did, because now when I set the can down with the arms being low, it automatically triggers the reverse camera, so I don't have to sit there and wait for it to kick in, because there's like a 3 to 4 second delay in the camera when it jumps from the hopper to the reverse camera, when you go into reverse for whatever reason. And you can see it on the truck too with the side lights. If you guys ever notice, a lot of these newer trucks are like that, be it McNeilus or Howe, for whatever reason. And I'm wondering if that's some kind of chassis issue that does that. But I've seen it on Peterbilt, Mack, these battles, and that Freightliner too. Straighten that back up, son. There you go. Kevin was saying he doesn't see how we do this. A lot of patience. One thing about front end, it's a thinking man's game, thinking woman. You're playing chess out here all day with people that are prone to play checkers. Really got to be 2 to 5 steps ahead of them in thought and action, predicting what they're gonna do. Like I said, always expect the unexpected. This Aaron Rental always puts up a fight, because for whatever reason, rental stores, body shops, they think they can just stuff big boxes in here and jam them down and, oh, the truck will get it out. Nah. One thing about me, I'm not going to tear up the equipment trying to get out your cardboard if it's jammed inside there. There we go. Is pretty solid, so when it is empty, sometimes you can't really tell, because it still thuds the same as when it's loaded. I think we got it. Get off my fork, sucker. Is up next. Uh-oh, fell behind on the tablet. try to knock them off when you're there. Sometimes I forget. Well, isn't that interesting? Wow, how'd you get turned around right there like that? You see some weird stuff out here in traffic. Very weird. Chapato first, Walgreens next. We'll go around back and we got Texas Roadhouse. Chipotle used to have some good food. I know they do good business. These cans are usually full of garbage and recycling, and it goes 5 days a week. Got some strange employees though. Show you what I'm talking about. See all that space up there? But they won't pull up to the curb. Hold on. Empty container. You don't have to worry about them today. Move on to Walgreens now. They do have an option for empty container, but if it's a customer that I go to, like this one, 5 days a week, I don't worry about it. Now, if it's somebody that I know isn't normally empty and is, and maybe only goes like once or twice a week, y'all see that old GTO? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Then I hit the option for empty container and take a picture. So what I do over here, I raise my arms up. This is a funky setup here. You gotta stay over here close to the curb. I know, baby. Thankfully, these gates push inward. Because if not, it'd be a very hard spot to get. Still a lot of wind left from that storm system. Now it's cold. I know. If you be patient, I'm gonna bring them down. Thank you. I know they up. Okay, here they come. See? so hard sitting cans down. Normally when you slam those cans down on the ground, all you're doing is tearing up the equipment, the can and the truck. That sends a shock through the cylinders. From that impact. And over time, you'll notice your arms will be falling. And they won't stay up. It's because you're blowing out the cylinders every time you slam them down on the ground, young man, young woman. Gotta treat them like a baby in most cases. Alright, boys and girls. Big truck coming back. We are on the move. So, by this being a recycle truck, I can cut across the front, but I don't like humans like that. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people in storefronts, when they come out, they are walking and they are looking straight tunnel vision. And they'll walk out in front of you and won't even look, won't even slow down. They'll keep that same pace. And you better stop. In their mind. That's why I come behind the plaza where the service trucks go, instead out front, when I can help it. Less chance of running into people unless it's maintenance crews or something like that. And the occasional car that has the same idea. Come on. 'Cause I gotta swing wide. That gym right there, Crunch Gym, they stay packed from the time they open probably to the time they close. I've never seen it empty. I wonder if I beat Wasted today. Wasted Management. Nope. Try to look out for other guys, make their job a little easier too. Got one guy over in Lithia Springs, Austell area. Real cool driver. On Mondays and Fridays, he always looks out for me at a Chick-fil-A we share. Sometimes I'll get there before him. Most times he's there before me. This is always fun to level this thing off before I can dump it. Because if not, the cardboard will go everywhere. They need to add an extra day. It only goes Monday and Thursday. But every Texas Roadhouse I pick up on this route is overloaded. Heard they have some really good food. Can we get it all in? Almost, almost. One of these days that lid is gonna end up going with me. It's just hanging on by a wing and a prayer. Sit, pack, and pack a little more at this one. That's it, baby. Set it down. Clean up my mess, sissy. Thursday, as I was backing out, waste was pulling in right on my back door. We had a safety meeting last week, so normally that safety meeting puts me a little bit behind where I normally am, so I was probably running like an hour or so behind when I got on this side. Had a lot of bad wrecks that morning, threw traffic all off. Home Depot has some nice sheds. That one even has AC. Make a little office out of that. Beautiful day out here. to give a special shout out to my brothers. Zachary, Alien Stranger, my brother for life. And to David Landsman, the man that taught me how to double dump cans. I thought about getting some of those extended forks for 002, but I don't know. Once I get back out there with her, if I have compactors, maybe, but it's not a big deal. Buffalo, I think your car is in my way today. Yep, it should have been one space over. Alright, so she moved out the way for me. Didn't seem like she wanted to, but she did. So this right gate is always an issue, especially on windy days. There's no hole for the gate stopper. So, as you guys heard it, it slammed into that can pretty hard. I gotta find something to prop it open. Darn sure don't want it to hit the truck. Pretty good in there. I think I had Buffalo Wild Wings once, like in 2012 or something like that. Me and the wife were together. I think we had went once. If I remember right, it was actually okay. I'm not a big foodie per se, but I like to eat. Make a little noise, baby. Just a little. Get it off. Nope. There you go. Situations like this with gates that won't stay open. Even though I put that pallet there, the way this wind is blowing, it can knock that pallet over. So I try not to play around in those enclosures. Now this is something I learned from Robin Porter, Prime Time. On days like this, you go ahead and close it, even if you don't normally do it. And what that does, remove any liability off of you once you leave and it swings back closed. Taught me that a long time ago. PetSmart and Five Below. Five Below is usually empty around this time of year, but they go 5 days a week. They tried lesser days, but it didn't work out for them. Come on, boys and girls, let's go. One way gets clear, and the other does not. my favorite characters on Tiny Toons. Art to this with these electric joysticks. I found if I come off the throttle just at that point where it gets right over the hopper, it'll make it slam automatically. And then each time that I actually bump the can, if I do it that way too, hits a little harder. A choreographed dance between hand and foot, joystick and throttle. With any cowboy, you gotta learn your steed. Oh, they got a little bit in it today. Normally it's about empty. Okie dokie, okie dokie, no biggie. My baby can handle it. Back one good time. Bump it and dump it. Flip it and dip it. My trainer, Mr. Willie Tucker, one of the guys that taught me a lot at DeKalb County when I was a young lad. Many moons ago. Man had all kind of sayings. Full of fluid and ready to do it. Full of juice, ready to bust loose. I ain't the best, I'm just different from the rest. Willie was a character. But he damn sure can handle a front loader. Tell you, that man, it was like watching a transformer when he had that truck. He was so good when he go into a can, you never see his hand slide up under the other one to put it in neutral. You think he's working it in dry the whole time. He used to call that his crossover move. You go in a can so fast, next thing you know it's coming off the ground. I took a little bit of him with me over the years. I'm not as graceful as him with it, you know, the way he used to do it. Yeah, Mr. Tucker was no joke. No joke. Nah. Rest in peace to Mr. Knox. They used to call him Chucky. Mr. Sam Knox. Found out we lost another county legend, Mr. Johnny Reed. He passed recently. And that hurt my heart. Mr. Reed was a roll-off driver, one of the first roll-off drivers they had. He was darn good with it too. Always cool and laid back. For a second, swap out this battery. touched on two of my favorite things. My granddaddy's nickname was Mac, so that's where that comes from my last name. So I carry his last name, McDaniel. Cool Hand comes from the old movie, one of my favorite old movies, Cool Hand Luke. So, you know, Cool Hand Mac. And for me, the hand part is from just trucking. Been in the trucking business. Started out as a young hand, a new boot, and now I'm an old hand in this thing. A seasoned hand. With this crazy traffic in this day and age, you really gotta enjoy what you do. Be behind the wheel of one of these trucks. Last can of the day. I just want to show you guys something. You see all that there? And all on the ground? That's nothing but caked up grease. I ain't gonna tell you how to eat. But that's what you're putting in your body. And as the years go by, that's your arteries. Just something to think about. That's a wrap, boys and girls. The thunderstorm has left the building. Just want to say to all of you, I love you, my brothers and sisters in Christ, and those that want to get to know him. Call his name. He's not hard to find. Whatever you want to do in life, if he put it in your imagination, it's for you to do. Always keep that in mind. Never give up on your dreams, your goals. You don't want to live a life full of regret, especially on your dying day. When you look back over things like, man, I wish I could have done this. I wish I would have had the courage to start that business, to buy that truck, or start that bakery. You know, whatever you want to do, keep him at the forefront of it, and you can make it. Love you guys. Peace and blessings. We out of here. Ah, shit up.